Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for your attention, for participating in this stream. This is a community chat, traditional Sunday live stream, and of course, first of all, I will be active in the chat, and simultaneously, of course, I will share additional news that I posted on my Telegram during the day. Also, many thanks, of course, to all the members of our community who will watch this live stream in recording or who will join stream itself later on. And in the beginning, let me also thank members of our community who supported since the last update. Thank you very much, Ryan, Rajib, Ayof, Pamela, John, Jorg, Joseba, Peter, Samir, Harisio, Net Zoners, and Naftul for your support through PayPal, and also many thanks to Carlos Gaspar and Luke True for donation through Boosty. Truly grateful, dear friends, and of course I will use this opportunity to thank her, to welcome new members on our Patreon community. Thank you for your attention, of course. That's been said, dear friends, let's start this live stream, I guess, now. Hopefully sound is okay, video is okay, and as I said, plenty of news, and simultaneously, dear friends, I will monitor Boosty and donation alerts. If there will be any questions during the stream, I will of course answer. Links are of course under this video, and also if there will be questions through PayPal, I believe Magda will send me questions, so I will definitely try to answer on questions through PayPal also. Unfortunately, during the stream I cannot monitor Patreon because to open Patreon I have to use a VPN, which definitely makes live stream almost impossible. That's been said, let's start today's stream. And dear friends, if I may, I will highlight comment that I see on the Patreon from a member of our community, Yaroslav Pelicek. I will read it. After all, this is community chat, isn't it? And Yaroslav write on Patreon, greetings. I know that it's an off topic, but could you please pray for the youngest son of my friend Luke, Marco? At the end of July, Marco jumped on a trampoline and broke his leg. He will have it in the plaster for at least 3 weeks. It's very unnervable to have a leg in plaster and be in hospital for half of holidays. Please, Levan, could you read this plea to the chat during the live stream? I know that there are many good people out there in the community. We are like the family. Best wishes, Yaroslav from Czech Republic. Speedy recovery to son of your friend Yaroslav. And of course, our praise goes to him. And he will be okay. Hopefully, he will be okay. And dear friends, let's start our stream now. News part. And yes, as always, when I start my work day, it's a greetings on my Telegram to our community. Then I share this information from Hungary. it is confirmed that the halt of oil transit from Russia through Ukraine was coordinated from the European Union. Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó stated. I spoke about it in today's first update. Also, by the way, you might be surprised to see this video and this news, but bridge collapsed after 10 hours of heavy rain in Saudi Arabia. It's the southern Jazan region. So as you can see, I mean, huge bridge collapsed, and heavy rains for 10 hours in Saudi Arabia, in Arabian Peninsula. That's quite something. We all remember recent heavy rain in United Arab Emirates, isn't it? When Dubai and a number of other cities were flooded. Also, I shared this video. This is, according to reports, moment when Israeli air defense systems intercepted several dozen of Hezbollah rockets in the northern Israel. Unfortunately, of course, situation is escalating in the Middle East, and not just between Hezbollah and Israel, but now, according to Axios, as I reported in the first update today, US and Israeli leadership, political leadership, militaries are expecting Iranian retaliatory strike for tomorrow, for Monday, 5th of August. Probably they have some intelligence to have such expectations. Hard to tell. But as I said, and as I said in the morning's update, I hope Iran's response or retaliatory strike will be restrained, so that warmongers in Netanyahu's government and among neocons in US will have no additional ground to provoke regional war in the Middle East, and it seems like they are very keen to provoke regional war. Dear friends, if I see a question during the stream, of course, I will try to answer. If you can, please write question with the capital Q in front of the question, or entire question in capital letters, so I will recognize it straight away. And then I shared on Telegram this short video of the work of Russian Su-25 attack planes, ground attack planes, flying tank, as Su-25s have a nickname. Oh, Grachi, by the way. Grach is a bird. This is also a nickname for Su-25s, workhorse of frontline aviation. Heavily armed, and extremely popular planes, let's say, worldwide, since the production of Su-25s began during the Soviet era, by the way, and dozens of countries worldwide, of course, operate or used to operate with their Su-25s. I guess a significant number of these planes have been brought by US or other NATO member countries in different states, and then transfer to Kiev regime. Also, information that I also spoke about during the first update, that about 100,000 Israelis are unable to return to their country due to mass cancellations of the flights to Israel aimed the escalating situation in the Middle East. Israelis Channel 12 reported, and the Israeli government is recommending its citizens to fly to Cyprus and also Greece, because there are flights still from Greece and Cyprus. And dear friends, probably many of you notice under every commentary, every poster. I am lately starting posting this warning or disclaimer, just to make sure that our community is on safe side, because there are scammers, unfortunately, quite active on all the platforms, including on Telegrams, and I deleted several times these fake accounts that looked exactly like mine. And they are sharing some links. I don't know what links those are, and to make sure that our community is informed, I will put this disclaimer under every post, so that and my posts, by the way, my comments are comments from administrators. So if you see some commentary from an account that looks similar to mine, if it has no administrator sign on it, then that's the fake account. You can block it straight away, report it, and of course, as soon as possible, I will block that account straight away. I don't want to shut down, I don't want to close comment section again because of those scammers, by the way. They make life difficult for all the creators. But I want Telegram channel to be also a platform where we can exchange opinion. So I will maintain comment section open, but same time I will put this disclaimer under every post. Also, I shared today information that US General Command Chief General Michael Karila arrived in the Middle East on Saturday and is expected to visit the Gulf states, Jordan and Israel. US media claims his aim is to mobilize a coalition to protect Israel, aim preparations for possible Iranian this retaliatory strike. Also, by the way, I shared this video. This is Western Ukraine, where mass protests broke out against these recruitment offices and recruitment officers of the Kiev regime. This is Kovel, Western Ukraine, and this is not the central parts of Kiev controlled territory or eastern parts, where vast majority of citizens see themselves as Russians. This is Western Ukraine, Volcano area, which is, one may say, birthplace of Ukrainian extremism, Nazism, fascism. And if their locals are fed up with the regime, can you imagine state of society in rest of the Kiev-controlled territory, in the central parts, southern parts, northern parts? People are probably really sick and tired of Kiev regime, and cannot wait to be liberated from this Western occupation regime. Basically, that's what Kiev regime is in reality. And of course, many members of our community know perfectly well that lately people definitely are managing to break out from fear in Kiev-controlled territories, and there are dozens and dozens of cars of these recruitment offices have been burned all around Ukraine. It started on the southern parts, in Odessa region, Nikolaev region, but these protests of the people spread all around Ukraine now, and cars of these recruitment officers, gangs, basically Kiev regime gangs, have been burned out just about everywhere, including in Kiev itself. And I see commentary or question from Berlin Card Yard, and commentary is: are there any news in Russia about how Israel was able to assassinate in Tehran by airstrike? Well, I read several reports on this issue, and according to latest information from Iranian news agency, by the way, it was not airstrike as many think initially, but it was a missile strike, but seems like with that ITGM, which means that this strike was conducted from close proximity from the area where where this location of the Hamas political leader was, and according to reports, dozens of security staff in Iran have been arrested now by security forces, and they've been questioned because rumors are that these Israeli assets who organized and conducted this attack are still in Iran. So probably in upcoming days we will learn some more, but when it comes to this strike itself, it was not airstrike according to information from Iran. It was a missile strike, but most likely from ITGM. Anti-tank guided missile, basically. Earlier there was rumors that it was a bomb planted in a residency of Hanir, but latest information is about missile strike from close range. Also, dear friends, let me thank Daniela Modos for donation on PayPal, and Daniela commented, "Thank you for your updates." Thank you very much, Daniela, for support. Truly grateful. Let's continue. Then I share the link to my first update. And I see a question, dear friends. Natalie D is asking, Levan, do you have any opinion on why Iranian security services cannot get a handle on these constant assassinations? Well, this is... I'm not expert in intelligence services, but as far as I understand, this is constant struggle between different intelligence services, especially when these services are in countries that are in confrontational relationships. And I guess Iran's intelligence services, Iran's security services are highly professional, but Israeli security services, Israeli secret services are also on top of the game. Mossad, not for nothing, being seen as one of the top security or secret services in this world, and I guess they have means to recruit people probably all around the world, including in Iran, and then they are using these assets to conduct these terrorist attacks and political assassinations. Unfortunately, this is of course not the first, and I'm afraid not the last time when Israeli secret services conducted such an operation. Number of scientists were killed in Iran, and number of other high-profile individuals. But yet again, this is, I guess every secret service can do this, but it seems like Israeli secret services have no boundaries. They are openly conducting terrorist attacks, and they didn't care. I'm quite sure Iran's secret services can assassinate just about anybody in Israel, but they are just not doing it. They are operating in more professional manner, in more restricted manner, I will say. But Israeli secret services, they are operating as terrorist organizations, including Mossad, by the way, and that's why they are able to kill people in different countries. They have no dignity, I will say. You know, because when secret service operates as a terrorist organization, it's no longer a decent institution that is built to protect country and people. It's terrorist organization and cannot be respected by nobody. And it's not just Mossad, but also CIA, by the way, and MI6. US CIA, British MI6, also terrorist organizations, in my personal opinion, because they are also participating in killings of people, including politicians, by the way. Later, right, they are actively participating in regime change operations, as a result of which, in many cases, dozens and hundreds and even thousands of people are dying as an aftermath. So I cannot call them professional security services. They are terrorist organizations, in my personal opinion, and same goes for Mossad. That's the only reason why they are able to conduct these assassinations. They have no dignity. they have no principles. They are not operating based on some law, basically. They are terrorists. So what do you expect from terrorists? Sometime in the past, like in 60s, 70s, maybe Mossad was respectful security service, but now they clearly are operating as a terrorist organization. Same goes for IDF, by the way. After what they did in Gaza Strip, they killed the tens of thousands of civilians, tens of thousands of kids, by the way, and females. After this, I'm refusing to call them armed forces, professional armed forces. They have no dignity. They are terrorists. That's it. You may disagree with me, but when they're intentionally killing people, when they are using terror as a means of political goals, which is clear in case of IDF and Mossad, then that's a terrorism. That's a clear definition of terrorism. When you use terror to achieve your political goals. So it is what it is. Then I shared, by the way, this information. This is time lapse of California's fourth largest wildfire on record. And I mean, some may be surprised to see how green certain areas in California are. I'm not surprised. I knew that California is mountain area. It's not just a beach and the desert, but it's mountain area. It's plenty of forest there. And unfortunately, whenever you have a forest, vast masses of the forest, usually you have wildfires also. For example, in Russia, by the way, in Tuva region, emergency was declared. Today, I read information. And wildfires are raging, if I remember correctly, on 2,000 hectares. And there is more than 20 separate epicenters of these wildfires, and the emergency services are working to deal with it. Bubbles is commenting, California is huge. Yes, of course, California is huge, and I believe, by the way, it's a wonderful place. It's a wonderful place. Maybe local government is not really up to task, and therefore certain areas in California might look like post-apocalyptic, some places, especially San Francisco and certain parts of Los Angeles. But well, California is I'm 100% convinced it's a wonderful place, for sure. Also, dear friends, I shared this video, Israeli airstrike on Gaza school that killed 17 civilians, and this is happening on daily basis, by the way. Unfortunately, Israeli state institutions, secret services, IDF, they don't care about human lives, man. They just don't care. It's a shame, really shame, by the way. Netanyahu's government, that's why I'm saying, by the way, Netanyahu's government is a menace not just for Palestinian people, but Netanyahu's government is an enemy of Jewish people. I really see Netanyahu's government as an enemy of Jewish people, because due to actions of these criminals, Netanyahu and his associates, unfortunately, anti-Jewish sentiment is on rise worldwide, which is really unfortunate, which is completely wrong, by the way, because, as I said many times, our Jews here in Russia, or Jews in Georgia, or any other country for that matter, by the way, have nothing to do with this crazy Netanyahu, man, and his actions. And why should anybody have any negative feelings towards our people in that case? It's logical, isn't it? But unfortunately, not all the people are getting into nuances, and therefore it is tragic that due to actions of this criminal Netanyahu, this anti-Jewish sentiment is on rise, which is wrong, by the way. I mean, it's a 21st century. We should be on a higher level as a humanity. And then, I mean, I don't understand how anybody can hate entire groups of people. By the way, it's my brains cannot understand this, but you know. And then I share this information, dear friends. Ukrainian drone strike on apartment building and killed civilian. This is the governor of Belgorod region has confirmed that a woman, elderly woman, died from her wounds as a result of Ukrainian FAB drone strike. And dear friends, I shared that video. It's a disturbing video, by the way. It was intentional strike, 100%. I'll show you now. This is it. This is it, by the way. As you can see here, drone is flying next to apartment building and then flew into a window. And as a result of it, 75-year-old woman died as a result of this terrorist attack. Is this intentional attack on civilians, dear friends? Of course it is, right? Operator of this drone knew what he was doing. He was targeting civilian apartment. But they did it anyways. That's why I'm saying Kyiv regime is a terrorist regime, because they are using methods, terrorist methods. They are using terror as a mean to achieve whatever political goals they might have. And this is a pure definition of the terrorism. And yesterday, you remember, I shared video when in Orsk it was, isn't it? Or Ariol, when Kyiv regime's drones targeted civilian apartments. Several drones, by the way, targeted the same civilian apartment, ninth floor building. And of course they knew if it was one drone, some may argue it was mistake of some sort. But when several drones are targeting same area of apartment buildings, this is direct intentional strike on civilians. That's what Kyiv regime does. Western media, Western so-called media, of course, will never report about it. I'm afraid, and the so-called politicians in the West it may be very rare exceptions, probably would not even mention this terrorist activity of Kyiv regime, but we have, I mean, video evidences, isn't it? I mean, you can just see what they are doing. Also, I shared this video about disturbances in UK. I reported in my updates, of course. I reported in my updates, and this is night time. And later on today, I also posted videos that some hotel was attacked by protesters because probably they were thinking that some illegal migrants maybe are in that hotel or something. So situation is really dramatic in UK. And Elon Musk, he is commenting on everything nowadays, isn't it? And he even wrote on his X that he predicted basically civil war for United Kingdom. I don't think it will go down this badly in UK, but there clearly are some issues in the social fabric that need to be addressed. And if current government of Starmer will work on this, they may de-escalate. But if they will just ignore fundamental reasons why this is happening, then, well, then I don't know. I shared, of course, today's first update for military summary. Also, then this video of tens of thousands of demonstrators in Venezuela that are in support of Maduro's government. It's not just Western-controlled opposition or US-controlled opposition that is conducting some manifestations, but also just look at this, by the way. tens of thousands of people in Caracas are on the streets to demonstrate their support of constitution, their support of government that they voted for, and their willingness not to allow U.S. Secret Services to conduct regime change in Venezuela. Dear friends, let me check if questions. I will check here also. And so I see no questions. Sorry, dear friends, if I miss your question, but if you will write Q, capital Q, before your question, it will make it easier for me to notice it. Oh, dear friends, this is community chat, isn't it? Enough news for now. I wanted to share with you, of course, I want to summarize this past week. Today is Sunday, so of course I want to mention fact that I was on Duran. It was Tuesday, isn't it? And I want to express once again that I'm extremely grateful for to Alex and Alexander, hosts of Duran Show. Alex Cristoforo and Alexander Mercuris. They are truly very supportive of our community and their smaller creators, because let's be real, by inviting us smaller creators for Duran, I mean, you are not gonna gain nothing, isn't it? But our channels, our smaller channels, and the smaller creators, for us, it's a huge step, isn't it? It's a huge step. So therefore, I mean, truly grateful for a unique opportunity. I was second time on Duran, so it's truly a pleasure. And I will once again highlight that I made, on 2 occasions at least, I made stupid error when I said, instead of saying I hope, I said I'm afraid, which is unfortunate, but yet again I'm still trying to improve my English. I'm working on it, and when I'm trying to speak fast, sometimes I just construct sentences wrongly. It is what it is, man. I mean, it's unavoidable, I guess, until my knowledge of English will be really, really good. Hopefully, at some point in the future. So yes, that was a big deal, obviously, for me personally, for this small media project of mine to appear on Duran. So truly grateful for that, and many thanks to Duran community. They were very kind, very kind. I read their many comments, and people were very kind to me. So yes, grateful also, dear friends, when it comes to this small project. I'm working on some ideas. Today, you see, I started the live stream on 5 o'clock. Previous Sunday, it was 6 o'clock, isn't it? Before that, 9 o'clock. I'm looking for optimal time, which will be more convenient for majority of our community who is participating in live streams. And also, dear friends, from September, because this month, August, gonna be very busy. We are moving to Moscow, and therefore there might be some days that I would not be even able to make even one update, maybe. But from September, I will add to Patreon page at least a few new programs, also on Boosty. And when it comes to our main channels, YouTube and Rumble, from September I want to try to make first live streams about 11 or 12, and then second news update I will make sometimes from improvised studio from home, but I will definitely try to make second updates as a walk and talk videos in Moscow. So there will be some changes in the programming on main channels. Also, hopefully it will work. You will receive these changes positively. So yes, this is some of the announcements about some changes that I have plans for. So let's see how it goes. And question, I see question. Kabuti 2 is asking, US government are all puppets. Why can't Venezuelan presidents be a puppet too? I'm not quite sure I understood the question, but if you mean that there are some shadow forces that are truly making decisions in US, I will agree with you. Most likely, yes, there are some so-called deep state, isn't it? And what is the deep state? I guess it's a collaboration of the certain groups of interests, military-industrial complex, intelligence services, also this class of bureaucracy on itself is a force, I guess. Multinational corporations, financial institutions, probably yes. We would not be mistaken if we will say that there are some shadow groups that are really pulling the strings in US and many other countries for that matter. After all, we see 4 years of Biden's administration, isn't it? And I don't think anybody in this world will think that Biden was making any decisions at all. Especially last couple of years, by the way, he was completely lost. And what kind of decisions he would make? None. So therefore, yes, I mean, we have factual indicators that this is the case, most likely. When it comes to Venezuela, Maduro's government, I don't think Maduro's government is puppet of anybody, really, because they have very different policies that we see, for example, in partner countries or friendly countries to Venezuela. And I believe maybe it will be better for Venezuelan people if Maduro's government will ask BRICS member states, for example, for support in some reforms that are necessary, in my opinion, in Venezuela, because after all, crime rates are one of the worst in Venezuela. Economical situation is truly bad, and you think why Western controlled or US controlled opposition is managing to manipulate with their tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people? Because they are not happy with their lives, isn't it? And they have reasoning for that. So I don't think Maduro is particularly puppet of anybody, but I guess it will make more sense if he will ask, and his government will ask her for some advices to India, to Russia, maybe to China, to other countries, how to reform economy to overcome all these economical issues that country is facing and people are facing. So I don't know if I correctly understood your question, but that's the answer that I can give you. And dear friends, when it comes to Venezuela, interesting news I read. It was yesterday, I believe. Maduro is considering, he is issuing warnings, kind of, to Western energy companies that they may lose access to Venezuela's oil fields if US continues these policies to overthrow Maduro's government, and Venezuela may grant rights to work on countries' energy fields to companies from BRICS member states. Let's see if this is gonna become the case or not, but seems like Maduro also has some cards in his hands, because many people in this world probably don't really know that it's still Western companies in large are operating on Venezuela's oil fields. Anyways, let's continue. Carlos Gaspar is commenting, Musk should lose his blue check mark due to misinformation. I agree with you, Carlos, 100%. He's acting very strange nowadays, and probably all of us will agree with this. I don't know what he is doing, because he's spreading pure fake news that was debunked. Why? I mean, yes, we may speculate that he wants access to oil or to some other resources of Venezuela. He wants to get closer to Trump, for example. We all remember that Trump had a very strong stance on Maduro's government also, and probably still has similar position. Something is clearly wrong in all that situation, because I don't know if Elon Musk understands or not, but he is destroying his reputation. I mean, totally destroying his reputation by becoming a party or in this internal confrontation in Venezuela. To become inside in this confrontation, it's wrong. But yet again, I mean, he is in position, I guess, to do whatever he wants. It seems like so. Bencher Dent is asking, Senegalese government has warned Ukraine to stop support of the terrorists fighting against the Senegal government. Yes, I have today I posted, by the way, information. Let me show you. This is it, by the way. A statement from Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Senegal. Ambassador of Ukraine was summoned due to involvement of Kyiv regime forces in terrorist activity on African continent. And let me read a few sentences from the statement of Foreign Minister of Senegal. The Ministry of African Integration and Foreign Affairs has learned with surprise of their publication on the Facebook page of the Embassy of Ukraine in Dakar of a propaganda video of the Ukrainian army, accompanied by a comment by the ambassador of Ukraine himself, giving unequivocal support to the terrorist attack perpetrated between 25th and 27th July 2024 in northern Mali by Tuareg rebels and the members of the group for the support of Islam and Muslims against the armed forces of Mali, which resulted in significant loss of the life among them. This GNIM group is, if I remember correctly, is a terrorist group that is affiliated with the ISIS in Africa, right? So Senegal summons Ukrainian ambassador after they openly basically supported terrorist activity on African soil. Understandable reaction from Senegalese government. So yes, Bencher Dent, you have absolutely correct information. But yet again, are we surprised? Are we surprised that Kyiv regime is sending its terrorists in African nations? We are not surprised, because once again, SBU, Ukraine's SBU, and also main intelligence directorate, it's branches of CIA. It's a terrorist organizations of a bigger terrorist organization, which is CIA. And of course, current leadership of Washington is authorizing terrorist attacks on Russian interests worldwide, including in Africa. And they are using different terrorist groups. In some cases, they are using ISIS that they created. In other cases, they use Al-Qaeda that also creation of their CIA. And in some other cases, they use Ukrainian terrorists. It is what it is. you know. Ben Hudson is asking your thoughts on Russia's predicament, Turkey, Syria, Israel. Well, lately we see some steps from Ankara to normalize relationships with Syria, with Damascus. Although this is a difficult process because if we take a look at the map, by the way, these northern parts of Syria, Idlib province, which is here, I believe, this area basically is controlled by pro-Turkish, mainly pro-Turkish terrorist groups, and also by some terrorist groups that are affiliated with the US secret services, right? And one may argue that Turkey has control over their indirect control over the Idlib province. And situation is, I mean, one may say, you know, Turkey can withdraw its troops. Turkey can neutralize these pro-Turkish terrorist groups, and that will be enough to rebuild relationships with Damascus. But the situation is more difficult because, as I said, it's not just pro-Turkish terrorist groups, but there are camps in Idlib province. There are camps in Idlib province where terrorists are training from dozens of countries worldwide, including Uyghurs, by the way, from northern western China, where Uyghur ethnic minority lives compactly in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous region. And I believe these camps where Uyghurs are and some other minorities from China are undergoing training, those camps are not just under direct or indirect control of Turkey, but also CIA and MI6 obviously are involved. And even if Turkey will make decision to withdraw, I don't think CIA and MI6 will do the same. They will still maintain control over these bases. They will still continue to train these terrorists, and reasoning is quite understandable. Not acceptable, but we can see reasoning behind this activity of British and US secret services, because I said many times before, I believe Western ruling class has plans to destabilize neighboring with China former Soviet republics, Kazakhstan, for example, Kyrgyzstan, for example, then create uncontrolled areas on the border with China, and then deploy these terrorists from Idlib province of Syria, initially to these former Soviet republics in that areas that will be uncontrolled by local governments, and then to use them as a spearhead of anti-Chinese operations that most likely CIA and MI6 have in plans to send those terrorists into China to escalate situation there, to create disturbances, and that's how Western ruling class is operating, isn't it? They are creating problems all around, as much problems as they possibly can, and one of the direction is definitely to escalate situation in Xinjiang Uyghur autonomous region, right? So that's how complex all this situation between Turkey and Syria is, because Turkey is also actively involved, or used to involved at least, in all these operations that CIA was planning in Central Asia, because one should keep in mind that with the exception of Tajikistan, all the other Central Asian republics, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, they are Turkish-speaking people. And Turkey has a significant influence in this region, right? And London especially was actively using Turkey and Turkish influence to infiltrate this region. So it's a complex issue nowadays. Relationships between Ankara and Washington, Ankara and London are little different, and maybe that's why Erdogan's government is looking for reconciliation with Damascus. But yet again, it's not gonna be easy. It's just not gonna be easy because there are plenty of issues that needs to be resolved between the two, between Turkey and Syria, and also, as I said, there is many other parties that are involved in all this Syrian story that is connected with major superpowers and their confrontation. So can Russia play some role in to improve relationships between Turkey and Syria? Undoubtedly, yes, Russia can. But yet again, it's just not gonna be a quick process because it's many other parties are involved in all this story. I hope my answer was informative. I don't know. Hopefully. Let's go through some questions. Let me check here also, by the way. Boosty, nothing. Donation alerts, also nothing. Okay, let's I was here, and let's see. Bencher Dent is also commenting, in Venezuela, deep state ecosystem is working hard to pull down the present regime. Yes, I agree with you completely. Also, by the way, I see a question. Berlin Card Yard. The Iranians said 2 weeks ago they will have enriched uranium in half a month. So now Israel provokes Iran, and West puppets get her behind them. What is your opinion on this development? It's not Iranians that said, by the way, that they will enrich uranium up to, I don't know, military grade. It was Blinken, isn't it? It was head of State Department of US, Anthony Blinken, that based on nothing basically said that Iran in 2 weeks time will be in a position to enrich uranium to military grade or something. That's I'm paraphrasing, by the way. That's approximately what he says, and it is possible that and I commented at the time that that Blinken is basically creating ground for Netanyahu to escalate with Iran, and we see escalation. We see escalation from Netanyahu's side. They might use this topic. They might use this topic also some additional reasoning to try and attack Iran's nuclear facilities, but yet again, I hope Iran's expected retaliatory strike will be restrained, so that Tehran will make point, but not create additional reasoning for Washington and Netanyahu's government to further escalate and provoke regional war. But yes, it is 100% in a conversation that this statement of Blinken about Iran's nuclear program can be used as justification of whatever provocations Washington and Tel Aviv are planning. Tel Aviv or West Jerusalem are planning against Iran. There are rumors, isn't it? I shared today information also on my Telegram that according to some sources, Russia transferred to Iran long-range radio-electronic warfare system. Russia definitely don't want any regional escalation in the Middle East. China is not interested in regional war there and escalation. India is not interested in that. There is only Western ruling class and the Israeli government that want to provoke regional war, and let's hope world community will prevail and somehow avoid regional war. And therefore it is very important, in my opinion, Iran's retaliatory strike to be not on a massive scale, enough to make a point, but nothing on the scale that will be used then by Netanyahu or Washington to further escalate. When it comes to Iran's nuclear program itself, I don't believe Iran is working on nuclear weapons. I spoke about this topic several times in previous updates. I just don't see logic behind these allegations that Iran is creating nuclear bombs. Why? Iran will create nuclear warhead. Turkey will get involved in a military nuclear program also. Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates most likely. Egypt, by the way, would like to have nuclear weapons also. Maybe even Jordan, who knows. And I don't think region will become more safer, or Iran will become more safer in such conditions, right? So therefore, to keep Iran safe, they don't need nuclear weapons. They definitely don't need nuclear weapons for that. They have thousands of long-range missiles, by the way, that can devastate any country that will dare to, let's say, attack Iran or in large-scale military conflict. And Iran continues to build up its missile forces, its drone forces, its military capabilities. And I guess Iran has all means necessary to protect itself, to have capabilities of a long-range retaliatory strike, let's say this way, which is deterrence, isn't it? Should be deterrence at least. Yes, I don't see a reason why would Iran make nuke for this reason, by the way, because it will not make a region any safer. It will not make Iran any safer. But topic of this so-called military nuclear program of Iran that is not existence, that did not exist. This topic definitely will be used by Washington and Netanyahu's government to justify whatever provocations they have in plans. Bobby LaForce is asking, dear Levan, is it true that Greece received order to block our monks to be in monasteries they own since many centuries on Mount Athens? Really? I don't know. They block Orthodox monks from Serbia to enter Afon Mount. I don't know really, but that's, I mean, Israeli. I mean, Greek government is of course under strict control of globalists and West, and it is clear that these globalists are not happy with the Orthodox Christianity, and they are targeting Orthodox Christianity. They created this fake Orthodox Church in Ukraine, for example, isn't it? And they force Constantinople, head of Constantinople Church, to recognize this so-called church that was created in Ukraine. I'm not quite sure, but I would not be surprised if Greek Orthodox Church also recognized that этих грешников, you know, they committed unforgivable sin, isn't it, in Ukraine, while breaking out from church, Russian Orthodox Church, Ukraine's Orthodox Church of Russian Patriarchy, and to create this separate some stuff. It's a sin that cannot be forgiven. But Constantinople recognized it, and I would not be surprised if Greek Church, also Orthodox Church, also recognized it. It's a sad, by the way. It's a sad to see this divide among Orthodox Christians, and therefore I would not be extremely surprised to if it's true, and Greece banned Serbian Orthodox priests or Russian Orthodox priests to visit Aton monasteries on Aton mountain. But I don't see information about that in media outlets, dear friends. So I just don't know details. Let's hope it's not true, because why, for God's sake, man? Why? Why should they escalate this much, man? I don't know. Buncher Dent is, and dear friends, if you are not familiar, on Aton mountain in Greece, there is a monastery complex, extremely cherished, respected one in Orthodox Christianity. That's what we are talking about here. Buncher Dent is asking, how do you see the role of Russia in the Iran-Israel conflict? As a side that will try to de-escalate, or if necessary, Russia will provide Iran with support, with some support, not with little weapons if any war will erupt. Although, by the way, who knows? After all, Iran has contracts with Russia, with Russian military-industrial complex, and they should receive Su-35 fighter jets. They should receive Russian S-3 or S-400 air defense systems, if I remember correctly. A number of other weapon systems, offensive and defensive weapon systems. But when it comes to possible conflict between or current situation between Iran and Israel, I'm 100% convinced, by the way, Russian leadership, political leadership, leaders of public opinion, they will use all their resources to communicate with both sides and to de-escalate. Because, as I said, Russia don't needs no wars, by the way. And Russia definitely don't want to see another war in the Middle East. That's for sure. And I'm 100% convinced no BRICS member states want to see conflict, regional conflict in the Middle East. And all the countries will try to de-escalate in the region. That's my take on this. Bubbles is asking, I lost question, dear friends. Where is the question? Oh, I find it. So Bubbles is asking, if it was a missile strike that took out the late general, how came Iran's air defense did not react? You mean I'm a little confused because with your question, because this recent escalation is due to assassination of Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh, and according to reports, latest reports that I see from Iran, from Iranian media, most likely it was a short-range missile that was used not far away from a location of Haniyeh. Most likely ITGM. ITGM is an anti-tank guided missile, by the way, that you can use from a few dozens of meters to few kilometers distances. But this is ground-to-ground missile, by the way. So initial rumors that it was airstrike and missile was launched from outside of Iran. that initial information was dismissed by Iran's authorities, as far as I understand. And now main version is that it was a strike from the ground, not far away from facility, from building where Ismail Haniyeh and his bodyguard were located. Most likely ITGM, and ITGMs, by the way, they can operate from, I guess, once you launch it, it will fly certain distance, 60, 70, maybe 100 meters, and then warhead is operational. And from this short distance to up to several kilometers, it depends on what kind of ITGM you are using, you can conduct a strike. But it was not air-to-ground missiles, so therefore Iran's air force or air defense systems has nothing to do with this this stuff. I see question. Berlin Cardiard is asking, only country with the nukes are safe from US invasion, aren't they? I would not say so necessarily, because yet again Iran has so many, according to reports, by the way. I mean, we are all rely on information from open sources and our ability to analyze this information, isn't it? So according to reports that we see, Iran has thousands and thousands of medium, short, long range missiles, and this number itself, by the way, very capable missiles, and this number itself should be enough deterrence for any country in the region to attack Iran. And when it comes to US, by the way, I remind you that there was military games conducted by Pentagon several times, and every time Pentagon, US militaries were when they were conducting these games, military games, to how they're gonna attack Iran and what they're gonna do, every time casualty numbers among US military personnel in these games were so high that that high number of casualties itself is deterrence for US to directly attack Iran with the ground forces, with ground invasion. Iran is several times bigger than Iran, by the way. Iraq. I mean, just take a look at the map. Iran is a huge country. It's a huge country, and I don't think US has military means to occupy Iran. So this is Iran, by the way. Just look at this, man. It's a very difficult terrain. It's a mainly mountain side country, by the way, and plenty of mountains and mountain ranges and stuff. This is Iraq here. Iran is at least 3 times bigger, by the way. Just look at this, Iran. There is no way US will ever go on full-on war on Iran, by the way, to occupy, because US just don't have enough manpower, right? And during these games, as I said, casualty numbers on part of Pentagon was so high that this information itself should be deterrence, on its own. So therefore, with nuclear weapons or without nuclear weapons, I don't think US is capable of invading and occupying Iran. It's just not plausible, Long-range missile strikes, US can do it. US has a toughest air force, or most capable air force in this world, one may argue. Thousands of planes, and therefore, and of course, US has a huge fleet. They can launch hundreds of long-range cruise missiles, not just from planes, bombers, but also from warships. So, in long-range strike capabilities, yes, US US can deal some damage to Iran, but this damage will be still local. because Iran's forces, of course, are dispersed all around this huge country, and you're not gonna deal some devastating blow to Iran's militaries with this long-range strike. You need ground forces, and US just don't have enough ground forces that will be able to occupy Iran. And that why, by the way, why should the US ever even think about occupying Iran or any other country, man? That I don't know. These neocon crazies, I mean, if not them, US would be on very different place right now, well respected and everything, but because of these crazy neocons and so my answer is no. You don't not necessarily need nuclear weapons to defend yourself from US direct aggression. Take a look at the current proxy war against Russia, by the way. Russia has most nuclear weapons in this world, more than any other country, let's say. Russia and US together, it's 90% of nuclear weapons, but Russia has more nukes than US does. But still, US is leading this proxy war against Russia, right? US send more weapons and more money than any other NATO member state. Did the Russian nuclear weapons deter Washington to not to get involved? Not really. So, Bobby LaForce is commenting, the best tennis player of all time, our Novak won gold again. Oh, congratulations. Novak Djokovic is definitely legend, by the way. He is a legend. Not just because of he's a great play in tennis, but as a person. Several times he demonstrated that he has principles and he is well respected worldwide, I believe, for this also, and maybe more for these principles than for a great game of tennis, although he's a legend anyway. So congratulations to Serbia, congratulations to you and Novak himself. He is the greatest tennis player, by the way. Some may argue that there are other players were better or worse, but Novak Djokovic is definitely a legend, undoubtedly, and no one can question this. Buncher Dent is asking, how do you see the future of the Kurds in Iran-Iraq region? Well, this is a big topic, isn't it? This is a big topic. Kurds are, if I'm not mistaken, largest ethnic group in this world without their own state. Although in Iraq, by the way, Kirkuk area, Iraqi Kurdistan is basically autonomy and self-governed. And I don't think Kirkuk really is, Kurdish authorities there really are listening to Baghdad at all. But Kurds are also living in Turkey, obviously, and there is a huge struggle between Turkey and Kurdish organizations. For decades and decades, they are in war. Basically, Kurdish minorities are in charge of northern eastern parts of Syria right now. And of course, Kurds are also present in Iran, Kurdish minority. So, by the way, this is Syria and these parts here. These parts are, by the way, controlled by Kurdish forces. They are up to Deir Zor, by the way. They are in charge. So significant part of northern eastern Syria is under control of Kurdish troops. The Turkish forces are presented here also, and they are constantly there is infight between them. And also pro-Turkish terrorist groups are present in this area. And also, of course, as I said, there is Kurdish minority in Iran. What can I say, man? This is a I don't see how this issue of statehood of Kurds can be resolved because they are presented in Iraq, in Turkey, Iran, and Syria. And everywhere they are in armed, by the way. Everywhere they have armed groups and fighting for independence. In Syria, officially, they are not fighting for independence. They are just self-protecting, kind of, and they are trying to cooperate with Damascus now. And they were always cooperating with Damascus, really. Especially when Turkey starts its military operations against Kurds there. But I don't know, dear friend, how this topic of Kurdish statehood can be resolved. Exactly because there are huge minorities, Kurdish minorities, in at least these 4 countries: Turkey, Iraq, Syria, and Iran. So I don't think they will be able to split these countries and create their own state. There was rumors that U.S. administration had at some point idea to divide Iraq in Kurdish region, to create several states there. Kurdistan, also parts of Iraq should be Sunni controlled there, and other part Shiite controlled, because of course Shiites are majorities in Iraq. But this did not work out, and if it did not work out in Iraq, by the way, which is the weakest, which was extremely weak at the time and still very weak, if we are talking about government and state institutions in Iraq, then how this united Kurdish state can be created based on not just Iraqi territory, but Syria, Turkey, and Iran. I don't know. Although I see that it's unjust. I see that many people may say, it is unjust that tens of millions of people have now their own state, and yes, I can see it. It is unjust. But we are living in a world in which we are living, and I don't think this topic has a simple resolution. It did not. So I don't know, dear friend, how this topic can be resolved. I just don't know. Maybe Iraq will be divided really at some point in the future, and Kurdistan will declare independence, and that will be a Kurdish state. Although, yet again, struggle between Turkey and Kurdish armed forces, armed groups, continues for decades and decades, and I don't think they will stop this fight. I don't think Kurds in Syria will give up their weapons, and they will at least demand their autonomy for sure. And when it comes to Iran, yes, there are some groups that are actively cooperating with Israeli secret services, and quite often are involved in whatever terrorist activities are conducted on Iranian soil. So it's a complex issue, by the way, and I don't think there is anybody in this world right now who can give you a straight answer about this topic. It's just too complex, too difficult. Bobby LaForce is commenting, not just only Serbians, but Russian monks too have been blocked to visit Aton Monastery, Aton Mountain. What can I say? This is not normal. This is just not normal. Very unfortunate, man. Bencher Dent is asking, is it possible of Turkey to jump in the Israel-Hamas conflict as of late Erdogan saying he will support Hamas? No, dear friends. Erdogan says quite often very stronger stuff, but Turkey to get involved in this conflict with Israel, no. First of all, geography, by the way. They have to cross entire Syria to get to Israel. How are they gonna do it? Even if Erdogan will order his troops to march towards Israel, how are they gonna do it? Yes, Turkey has a fleet, by the way. That's gonna be big deal. But when it comes to ground forces, they're not gonna cross Syria, by the way, isn't it? Without being obliterated by Israeli Air Force. So from practical standpoint, I just don't see how Turkey can militarily get involved in direct confrontation with Israel, and I don't. Nobody needs this, by the way. Let's hope for the de-escalation. We don't need escalation, by the way. Let's hope for de-escalation. Let's see what Iran's response will be on assassination of Ismail Haniyeh. Hopefully, Iran's response will be a restrained one. Yet again, not to give Netanyahu's government and their neocons in US this additional reasoning to further escalate and to provoke regional war. And dear friends, a live stream is almost 1.5 hours. Let me check here and also here. And if I may, I will go through some additional news, dear friends, and I will end the live stream. 1.5 hours, it's quite enough, I guess. We had a good conversation, isn't it? We had a good conversation. This community chat is always great, by the way. I'm always happy to exchange opinions in real time. It's great. Dear friends, deputy of the Russian foreign minister made a very interesting statement today. I was looking for some additional information on Russian media, did not find yet, but I will continue and I will report about it in my tomorrow's update. So the Russian Federation's signal reached the head of the Pentagon. Moscow and Washington avoided an escalation spiral. Deputy Foreign Minister of Russian Federation Sergei Ryabkov stated, and I wonder what he meant, what kind of escalatory spiral two countries were facing and was avoided as a result of communication, I guess, between Russian defense minister and the head of Pentagon. Quite a number of questions in this regard, and let's see if we will have some additional information on that matter. Of course, rumors are that Moscow warned Washington about plans of Kyiv regime to conduct some terrorist attacks on Russia, and Russian defense minister wanted to make it clear if Washington is involved in these plans or not, and rumors are that Pentagon did not knew about it, although I doubt that CIA did not knew about it. Pentagon maybe not. I mean, after all, main intelligence directorate of Defense Ministry of Ukraine and the SBU, they are branches of CIA, not the Pentagon. So I would not be surprised if Pentagon really did not knew nothing about plans on terrorist attacks on Russia in Kyiv regime, but CIA most likely knew. And maybe that's what Ryabkov is mentioning, that this communication between the two heads of defense ministries managed to avoid. I don't know, but it's interesting, isn't it? And also, dear friends, probably many of you noticed that for quite a while now, at least several weeks, at least several weeks, there are no reports about US drones over the Black Sea, right? Last time I hear about surveillance plane of the NATO over the Black Sea was about a week ago when British surveillance plane and two British Typhoon Eurofighter planes flew over the Black Sea and was escorted by Russian Su-27. But other than that, there was no mentioning of US or NATO drones, surveillance drones over the Black Sea, isn't it? So maybe Ryabkov also meant that warnings that Moscow issue for Washington after attack and strike on Sevastopol beach injured more than 150 people and killed 4. Maybe those warnings really reached their adressate. Maybe. But definitely additional information is needed, because I wonder what Russian diplomat meant when he said that sides Moscow and Washington managed to avoid an escalation spiral because these Russian signals reach the head of US military. Also, by the way, this is quite interesting that former MI6 head accused basically Russia in all these disturbances that is happening in UK right now, in United Kingdom. Extremely responsible statement from this idiot, whoever this criminal is, and Russian embassy reacted on it. So let me read the statement of Russian embassy in UK. So the embassy strongly rejects media reports fueled by irresponsible comments from former intelligence officials that Russia is somehow to blame for rising social tensions in the UK. This is predictable gaslighting from people who have themselves contributed to the destabilization of entire countries and regions, setting in motion unprecedented refugee flows and human suffering. This is a reaction from Russian embassy in UK. Quite understandable statement, but yet again, how irresponsible these idiots among the current and former officials of state institutions in UK really are, that they are willing to blame Russia for just about everything, man. I mean, what the hell, man? What is wrong with these idiots, man? Unbelievable. Then I shared, of course, a report of Russian Defense Ministry on progress of special military operation during the previous 12 to 24 hours. Also, by the way, Russian Defense Ministry only today confirmed that Novoselo-Pervoye in Avdiivka direction is under full Russian control. I reported about it like, I don't know, a week ago, maybe. Definitely several few days ago, that's for sure. And the Defense Ministry, being quite conservative institution, only now confirmed this information. And well, Novoselo-Pervoye is, of course, let me find it, by the way, now. It must be here somewhere. Yes, it is. So this is Novoselo-Pervoye settlement. It is under Russian control for at least several days. I reported about it, but Defense Ministry only today confirmed that. Let's also I shared this video of destruction of this is German Marder, isn't it? I mean, you can clearly recognize by silhouette Marder infantry fighting vehicle. This is drone strikes, by the way, of Russian Spartan battalion on military equipment of Kiev regime, and among those equipments you can clearly recognize Western-made equipment. This is Max Pro, another Max Pro, US-made Max Pro. This is looks like a Swedish SV90, although not quite sure. Quality of video is relatively poor. And this is Bradley, isn't it? Yes, it is a US M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicle that going straight to scrapyard from a zone of special military operation. You know, drones are menace, by the way, for military equipment, and they are definitely changing their warfare, for sure. This is a Marder, isn't it? This is also a German Marder infantry fighting vehicle. You can see this video on my Telegram, dear friends. Also, we have additional information from about F-16s in Ukraine. So, Economist reported that Ukraine received the first 10 of 79 promised F-16 aircrafts, and this, according to Economist, this happened on July 31st. The Ukrainian Air Force is about to receive another 20 fighter jets, according to this media outlet or propaganda outlet of the Western ruling class. Before end of this year, another 20 should arrive in Ukraine. The rest are promised by their so-called F-16 coalition led by Denmark and Netherlands will arrive in batches throughout 2025. Well, let's see. This is this long-range radio-electronic warfare system, by the way. Iran apparently has received Russian ultra-long-range electronic warfare system, Murmansk BN. Previously, these complexes were deployed in Northern Fleet and in Crimea. So that's how this system works. It's multiple vehicles, multiple these antennas and rest of it. And reports are that Iran received this system from Russia. Also, information is become available that Ukrainian Air Commander West showed the first photos of the Skynex anti-aircraft system supplied by Germany, which is a 35mm autocannon with AHEAD air burst munition. So that's how it looks, by the way. Probably this system will undergo some testing in Ukraine, because this is a brand new system. And as far as I know, Ukraine is the first foreign country that will receive these systems from Germany. Although Ukraine is not really a country, by the way, failed state, yes. But real country, no. Also, information is available that according to Al Mayadeen media outlets' sources, Ansar Allah movement or Houthi rebels in Yemen shut down yet another US MQ-9 Reaper drone, by the way, and I lost count of how many these MQ-9s Houthis already shut down. Definitely several at this point, like 4, 5, maybe more. Every other month they are destroying these drones, and video was circulating on internet of some debris of some sort, and some was suggesting that is this drone. I already show you, by the way, this disturbing video when Kiev regime's forces directly targeting civilian apartment with a drone. You can see drone went through window, and unfortunately 75-year-old woman was killed as a result of this intentional strike on civilians. This happened in Shebekino, by the way, not far away from Belgorod. This is Belgorod region, and Shebekino unfortunately is targeted almost on daily basis by Kiev regime's forces. Then I shared this video. This is Etna, by the way, volcano on Sicily, and it erupted again, and smoke went up to 10 kilometers in air. As you can see, eruption is on the way. Some epic video and photo, of course. And this is, by the way, ashes from that volcano that are falling down on settlements around Etna. Just look at this, man. Look at this, and this is very dangerous, isn't it? When ashes are, it's dangerous to breathe air when there is particles from volcano, because there is glass in it, right? Not an expert in this volcano stuff, but it's definitely not gonna be something pleasant and helpful to breathe that kind of air and to be in that area. I already mentioned that Senegal summons Ukrainian ambassador after video was published on embassy's page on Facebook, isn't it? With the support, with the open support of terrorism. I shared also update on Duran. Great update, by the way, about West being exhausted, about Ukrainian crisis and West Russia dynamics. Also, this video of huge explosion in New York. As you can see, probably FAB 1500 was deployed, maybe FAB 3000. But Kiev region forces definitely are struggling to maintain defense lines in New York Toretsk direction, on any direction really, whenever Russian side is determined to advance. Well, New York and Toretsk direction is a clear example of that. Also Avdiivka direction, of course. And this is the video, by the way, that I was talking about. This is approximately this Holiday Inn hotel where allegedly some migrants, illegal or legal, I don't know, migrants were staying. And this hotel was stormed. This happened in Rotterdam, in England. I don't know where this settlement is, but well, situation is definitely escalating in UK. Definitely escalating in UK. I will hope that this disturbances will not provoke confrontation on ethnic or religion basis, because it's gonna be devastating, and it will not help nobody in UK to resolve the issues. So therefore, that's why I said in the morning's update that better for everybody to concentrate on true issues, to demand from government some decision-making process, but people should keep in mind that it is very easy. It is very easy to destroy what is built, but it is difficult to rebuild whatever was destroyed. And Elon Musk, as I already mentioned, commented on this situation in United Kingdom and said that civil war is inevitable. I don't think civil war is inevitable in UK. I don't think so. But situation is clearly not situation is definitely demanding some serious decisions to be made by government of UK. That's why this government exists, isn't it? And also video, by the way, of another US-made Max Pro armored vehicle being destroyed somewhere on the line of contact. This happened on Pakrovsk, sorry, Pokrovsk direction, which is continuation of Avdiivka sector of the front line, basically. And yes, another Max Pro is heading towards the scrapyard. And little bit earlier, before I start this live stream, by the way, this information was published on Russian Telegram channels and also media, that Kiev regime targeted Lugansk, and this is the pictures. This is the pictures, by the way, and the video from Lugansk. Before I start this stream, there was no detailed information what exactly was targeted, no information about casualties or what destruction was done on the ground. All we know is that at about 16:10 by local time, at least 6 explosions were heard. As stated by the LPR governor, the city was shelled by the Ukrainian armed forces. Emergency services are working on the spot. Information is being clarified. So that's the information. Then I shared the, of course, announcement of this live stream, and after that, this photo, by the way, allegedly this is this F-16. This picture was made in Odessa region. In Odessa region, if true, I wondered where these F-16s are based, because if you take a look, Odessa region is Odessa region is here. This is Odessa region, of course, this area. The plane was spotted here, and I wonder if this plane was based not on Kiev controlled territory, but in Moldova or maybe in Romania. I wonder if that is the case, because rumors are, by the way, rumors are circulating, at least on Russian segment of internet, that Kiev regime is these F-16s that's supposed to be deployed into Ukraine or given to Kiev regime, in reality are stationed in neighboring countries. Poland, Romania, Moldova may be used also for these purposes. Although this is not yet officially confirmed information, this is just rumors that are that being shared on Russian Telegram channels. So who knows, probably in next couple of days we will find out where these planes are located. And dear friends, I guess this is it. Let me check Boosty. Nothing here. And donation alerts, also nothing. Well, it is what it is. And by the way, Bobby LaForce is commenting, Levan, it is no recent news and needs to be verified. Somehow there is something going on. Yes, Bobby, I don't know about this. That's why I said that it is sad if it's true, but I did not see anything on this matter on Russian media. So therefore, I just cannot share any more information on that. I just don't know. If anything in Russian media, of course, I will highlight that news during my updates. Jim Passar Rotary is asking, is there thinking if the Russian sub game changer event? Is there thinking if the Russian sub game changer? Sorry, dear friend, I just don't understand the question. You are saying that Russian submarines sank somewhere, or you think Russian submarines are game changers? No Russian submarines were sunk nowhere, by the way. And submarines itself, of course, they are forced to be reckoned with. Not just Russian ones, but any submarines worldwide, it's forced to be reckoned with, especially subs that Russia is latest generation of subs that Russia is operating. Either they are very well capable tools of destruction. That's for sure. And dear friends, if I may, I will end this live stream now. Thank you all for your comments, for your questions, for participating, for attention, and of course, many thanks to all the members of our community who will watch this live stream in a recording. And yes, this is it. We had a good chat, isn't it? We had a good chat, good conversation. Thank you all, and take care.